Hi, welcome to our next episode of Heartland Hangover. My name is David Ford. I'm the corporate chef for Heartland Reps here in Kansas City. Today we are back in our kitchen. It is September 22nd, so that is the first day of fall. And it was like 45 degrees this morning. So with all that in mind, I decided today that we're going to make something perfect for a fall day. We're gonna make some beer cheese soup. Here's how we're starting. We need 12 ounces of beer. These bottles are only 11.2 ounces. So the math didn't add up for one bottle, so I had to open a second one. But anyway, so we'll get started here in just a second. We're gonna make a not vegetarian version. I'm gonna start with some slab bacon. I'll get this hacked up. We'll get it rendered down. And then pretty classic Wisconsin beer cheese soup. I'm using a blend of cheeses. They're both cheddar, just a regular cheddar, and then this is a smoked cheddar, I think. Along with the bacon, it kind of adds a nice smoky, extra sort of layer of flavor in the soup. And I like bacon and I like smoked things. So it's a good way to add it. Onion, celery, some jalapeno, give it a little bit of spice, garlic, thyme, beer stock, cheese. It's a super easy recipe, super delicious. We'll finish it with some grilled bread, just to kind of, to dunk and scrape all that goodness off the side. So we'll get started, come back in just a second. By then I'm gonna have this bacon diced up. I'm gonna get it rendered down. We'll scoop the bacon out to garnish at the end and cook all the vegetables and get the base of the soup going with all that good bacon fat. So thanks for joining us today on Heartland Hangover. I'm gonna get started and I'll bring you over and meet you back at the stove in just a second. Thanks. Hi, welcome back to Heartland Hangover. We're making beer cheese soup today. So that nice slab of bacon, cut it up into lardons. Just been rendering it down. Using my cast iron, my favorite. So at this point, you want to get all, you want to release a bunch of the fat. We'll cook in that, because that's all the good stuff. But we don't want the bacon to burn. So at this point, we just pull it out. Again, leaving all the fat in there. Then we're going to start cooking the vegetables and get this soup finished up. It's a really easy soup to make. We're keeping it pretty rustic today. There'll be some chunks in it. If you want, you can always use a wand blender, stick blender, blend it up to get all the chunks out, but it's just me and my friends eating beer cheese soup. So we're gonna leave it rustic. All the vegetables, again, we have onion, celery, jalapeno for some kick, always fresh garlic, and some fresh thyme. We'll cook that down for about 5 minutes. At the end, like I said, you can blend it up for a more refined, finished soup. But this is just, the dude's hanging out. So add all that. Right in all that good fat. I just need to soften all this up. It'll take about 3-4 minutes. So yeah, first day of fall. I was thinking of, do we want to make chili? I wanted to make some kind of soup, baked potato soup. There's a million soups. But something about beer cheese soup, especially in early fall, is so perfect. So we'll give that another minute, then we'll start adding the liquid. For beer, you can use whatever you want. Today I'm using Stella, because I like to drink it. And using Wisconsin cheese, you could find a Wisconsin beer. I like to use Stella. It's sort of a Pilsner style. Definitely a lager. You don't want to use ales for this. A lot of ales tend to be heavily hopped, especially like most American brands. Certainly IPAs, things like that are heavily hopped. You don't want that. It'll make the soup too bitter. But this is just nice, clean, just a little bit of beer flavor. You know that it's in there, but you also want to taste the cheese and the jalapeno and the bacon and everything else So I like to use sort of a lager, like a Pilsner style lager. If you have Busch Light, use Busch Light. If you have Guinness, things like that actually work really well. The malt, the sweetness goes so well with the cheese. So at this point, before I drink all our beer, I'd made a roux. Roux is just equal parts flour and water. Flour and butter, sorry. It's a thickening agent, so we want to get that in there. We just cooked it for a second. It's called a blonde roux. You don't want much color. Like if you're making a gumbo, you want it, you know, dark as the Mississippi. This, you just want to cook it for a couple minutes to get the flour taste out. So we can add that in. Start getting that incorporated. And then beer. We're gonna add about half right now. I need to use that other one anyway. Let the beer reduce just for a second. Cook the alcohol out. You can see the roux already thickening it up. And then we're gonna add some chicken broth. I always use low sodium. If you're not making your own, if you're buying, use low sodium. That gives you that way you can control how much salt. You can control the seasoning, which is, you know, the cook's job. So using a product that you're not quite sure how salty it is going to be, use reduced sodium or no salt. I think it's the best way. Then you have, again, then you're in control. It's your food, you should be in charge. So we'll let that cook for a minute. And once that comes up, you'll see it to start to thicken. Then we'll start adding the cream and the cheese. And we just need to, you know, whisk aggressively to get as many chunks out. At this point, we can add a little pepper and a little bit of salt. And then we'll, at the end, we'll we'll check our seasoning and make sure everything's on point. So as this is coming up to temp, like I said, today I'm using, with beer cheese soup, you can use, you know, cheddar's a classic. These are both Wisconsin cheeses, just a straight Wisconsin cheddar. And this is a white cheddar that's been smoked with applewood. The bacon, the slab bacon I also got, so good. The slab bacon I also have is an applewood smoked. I like to, you know, if possible, use the same smoke, create a consistent theme throughout. So you can see this came up very quickly, already starting to thicken nicely. At this point we'll finish, we'll add our cream. We're adding 1 cup of heavy cream. Then we're just gonna whisk in, once it comes up to temp, we're just gonna start whisking in our cheese to get it nice and melted, nice and smooth. This is 8 ounces regular cheddar, 4 ounces smoked cheddar. 12 ounces cheese total is about what you want. Any more smoked than that, then I think that starts to overpower it, sort of takes away from, ow, everything's hot. So as this simmers, we can just start to sprinkle cheese a little bit at a time. What's great about using a roux with this too is it's also an emulsifier. A lot of times when you're cooking with cheese, it'll separate, and the grease and the milk will, you know, separate, and then you have, it looks like it's broken. The roux helps keep it all together. So we just keep adding, keep stirring. At this point I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Starting to get that nice orange color. Smells incredible. The jalapeno, you don't have to put jalapeno. I like spicy, so I add jalapeno. So all 12 ounces of the cheese is in there. Get that fully incorporated. we want to bring it up to a boil. At this point, you need to be careful too. Cheese burns, cream burns, all that will burn. If it gets stuck on the bottom of your pan and starts burning, it instantly turns everything bitter. So at this point, turn your fire down, because it's important to bring it all up to a simmer again, because that activates the roux that's in there that will start thickening it, but you don't want to burn. So it's just, now's not the time to walk away, is what I'm saying. Stay here, pay attention. So you can see that cheese is already incorporated. The only chunks are the vegetables. Like I was saying, at this point you can put it in a blender or use a burr mixer and smooth it out, run it through a sieve. If that's a product you're, for a nicer restaurant, you want more of a refined dish, things like that. Now's the time to do that. But for this, we'll keep it rustic. It's looking nice. Want to check it for seasoning. So good. It was a little bit more salt. Again, the salt, I keep harping on the seasoning, but you want to be in charge of it. Cheese is very salty, especially a smoked cheese is very salty. So you want to be careful with that, plus with the bacon and everything else. So that's why I like to use a salt-free broth. You get the flavor, you don't get the salt. Even at this point, a little Tabasco, anything else you want to add. So it's getting nice and thick. Oh, it's so good. And that's it. Super quick, 15-minute soup. And the bacon gets it nice and render it down, get some good color on it. Crispy, just yummy. You can save it on the side, add it as a garnish, but we're just gonna scoop and eat. Dump that all in there. And that, my friends, is beer cheese soup. I'm gonna grill off some bread because I like bread and it's good to get all the gubbins off the side of the bowl. So I'm gonna grill some bread off, and then I'll meet you back over here in just a minute and we'll plate it up and try it out and drink more beer. If you want to, hit it with a little beer right at the end. The alcohol won't cook out, but at this point, if you add it just at the end, it sort of, reintroduces more of the beer flavor. A lot of that tends to cook away when you add it at the beginning. So we'll add it right at the end, and just to make sure that we know that there's beer in it. So we'll be back in just a second. I'm gonna finish this. Thanks. Welcome back to Heartland Hangover. Again, my name is David Ford. I'm the corporate chef for Heartland Reps. And today we've been making some beer cheese soup. We just finished up. We're gonna plate it up. We're gonna eat it, and we're gonna drink some more beer. You guys watch me. It was 15 minutes to make, super easy, crowd pleaser. I like to serve it with just some, turn it into a meal, some salad and some grilled bread. Turn on the football game, watch some Packers or something, right? We're in Wisconsin. That's it, guys. Beer cheese soup, some grilled bread. See, it's nice and hot. I just made it. This is part of the show where I eat and burn the crap out of my mouth. So we're gonna try it. You can see all the chunks. See, I like, blend it if you want. I like it just like this. Keep it rustic. Perfect amount of jalapeno. Give it just a little bit of heat. Just the spice just sort of adds another dimension to it. I'm just gonna eat this. First day of fall. What better way to bring it in in this. Now we can figure out what the heck equinox means while we eat our soup. Again, David Ford here, our test kitchen in Kansas City. I'm the corporate chef for Heartland Reps. If you have any questions, if there's anything we can do for you, reach out to me, david@heartlandreps.com. Check out our website for all our amazing products that we offer. Everything back here, Turbo Chef, so many things. I'm going to keep making food. I'm going to keep eating food. If you have any questions, please reach out. If you need a recipe, if you need help with anything, go to our website, heartlandreps.com, to check out all the amazing products that we can offer, and hit me up and make beer cheese soup. It's fall. It's getting cold out. It's a perfect soup. Thank you so much for joining us today on Heartland Hangover. Have a good day.